On this week's episode of BJ in the Morning, we're doing another movie bracket, but this time it's spoofs. Let's go.
Welcome to BJ in the Morning. I'm Juan.
And I'm Brendan.
And we are doing a movie bracket with spoof movies.
Spoof movies.
Brendan,
Yes.
what do you consider a spoof movie?
I think it's anything, any catalog of movies, genre of movies. It's a new movie based on all of those types of movies in those genres, categories, things like that. But it kind of makes fun of them.
Yeah.
So I think of movies like Spaceballs, Scary Movie,
Yeah.
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
More movies that are definitely on our list and on our bracket.
Right.
Um.
Before we start, though,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could you get your drink out of the shot?
Oh. This really terrible zero sugar 7-Up, not a sponsor.
Supplied by myself.
Great choice of drinks today.
Hey, I was going to get the Cokes, but I didn't want to break out the box yet.
I feel it.
All
I feel it.
You know, like, you get the 24-pack of Cokes, and you try to put the whole box in? Because I didn't need to open it yet.
Right.
So I put the whole box in to keep them cold,
Mm-hmm.
and they're, like, stuck underneath, like,
Other
the
stuff?
like the shelf.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't feel like fighting with it.
I get it.
So, sorry.
I get it. It's okay.
Sorry.
But
Anyway,
let's get back into the bracket
brackets.
and less of the racket.
Right.
Right. You get it?
Brackets and the rackets and the ruckus.
Sure. Let's go over the list of movies we have in no particular order.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get into the bracket. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So we got Basketball.
Basketball.
That's an old one. That's
a good
it's
one.
like a hidden gem, I think, these days.
Yeah.
Nobody really talks about it. What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, not the show.
The movie.
Great movie as well. Taika Waititi, first big movie that broke out all over. Then we have Epic Movie. Solid one.
Is it epic?
It's epically something.
We'll find out.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Perfect.
Date Movie.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Team America, World Police.
Nice.
Not Another Teen Movie.
Oof.
Shaun of the Dead.
Oof.
Hot Fuzz.
Oof.
Airplane.
Okay.
Austin Powers. And we're, kind of just doing the whole group of movies for that. Blazing Saddles.
Nice.
Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Nice.
Hot Shots.
Hot Shots.
Superhero movie.
All right.
Spaceballs, the movie. I had to say it just because of the joke.
Right.
Spaceballs,
The movie.
Spaceballs, the flamethrower. Scary Movie. Again, we're kind of putting a bunch of them together for Scary Movie because there's like 20 of them.
Yeah.
Mars Attacks and Galaxy Quest. That is our list of movies. So this bracket is a little bit bigger than the last one we did.
Mm-hmm.
Some movies get an automatic pass to round 2.
Yeah.
Some don't.
So they gotta fight for it.
They gotta fight for it. So we're gonna start today with this random seed. Everything's random for this one, just like it was last time. So for the first round, first game, we have What We Do in the Shadows versus Epic Movie.
Whoa.
Which I think is funny because both of these movies, I picked one, you picked the other.
Yeah.
So, how are we going to do this, man?
Well, how about you tell me why you picked Why We Do in the Shadows, and I tell you why I picked Epic Movie.
Okay. Let me pull up, because there's like 75 tabs open on my phone right now. Let me pull up the info on this movie for us, okay?
Okay.
So, What We Do in the Shadows, like I said, is Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. And they're trying to cope with the complexities of modern life and show a newly turned hipster vampire some of the perks of being undead.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, it's got Taika Waititi, Jermaine Clement, Johnny Brugg. It's honestly one of my favorite movies. It came out in 2014. It's got a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, which, for those of you who don't know, that means 96% of the reviews are positive, which that's pretty high up there. IMDb scored it a 7.6 out of 10. I remember stumbling across this movie way back in the day because I am going to be a lifelong fan of Flight of the Conchords. So anything Brett or Jermaine do, I try to watch, try to follow along, try to keep up in their careers after Flight of the Conchords. I didn't know who Taika Waititi was at the time. So still, shocking that he's done so much now compared to when I first watched this movie.
Yeah.
But it's a mockumentary, it's a fake documentary, basically kind of in the style of like The Office or something like that, right? Where some vampires are trying to live in the modern world. It is so dry, like the humor's so dry but so smart, and it's one of those movies I remember trying to show people before, it really took off. And I'm sounding hipster as heck about it right now, but it was just one of those movies I stumbled across and just fell in love with.
Yeah. Of course.
And now it's spawned a whole TV show and everything like that, and it's just really blown up.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay. So I picked the epic movie mainly because we needed more movies. And I picked the epic movie because we didn't have very many spoof movies.
We had a handful, we needed some more.
But like a lot of these movies that we picked can stand out on their own. People don't even realize a lot of these movies are parodies.
Right.
This one,
you see the title and you're like, yeah,
it's full on a parody movie. They make fun of movies like the Da Vinci Code, Chronicles of Narnia.
It's been so long since I've seen this movie, and now that you're reading things about it, I see everything in my head. Like, it's been there the whole time.
They make fun of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, great.
All kinds of stuff.
I gotta love that Crispin Glover had the audacity to be in this movie, but wouldn't be in Back to the Future Part 3 or 2.
Yeah. They also make fun of Superman.
Superman?
Yeah, when Superman Returns came out around that time. But this movie came out in 2007.
Wow, that's forever ago.
And this movie is about 4 orphans on an epic adventure.
Aren't they like Chronicles of Narnia type of deal?
Yeah. So I think it's like the main story is making fun of Narnia.
Right.
And it's 4 troubled orphans from 4 separate movie scenarios who are bound together in a wacky chocolate factory after receiving golden tickets to go on an epic adventure.
Okay.
So this one stands out to me because when it came out, I think I was like really obsessed with like these parody movies.
Right.
And this one stuck out to me the most because I don't know, I just thought it was so funny. And I thought that, like coming off of like scary movie trend, I guess, it was one of the better ones out of all the other ones that they made.
I get you.
Now, the more that they made, the more, like, the dumber they got.
Yeah, the more absurd.
They got so much worse.
Right.
And so, in comparison to all the other ones, this one and the other one I picked on the list is one of the better ones. I think.
Okay. So out of these two, though, what do you feel like needs to move forward for our pick for best spoof/parody movie? Because I will say that What We Do in the Shadows definitely fits in this category, but I'm not sure if it is top of the list for this category. You know what I mean? Like, for all-time favorite movies, it would beat Epic Movie in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like, I would gladly watch What We Do in the Shadows over Epic Movie.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to show people good movies.
We're talking about spoofs.
We're talking about spoofs.
Parodies.
So I think what we're going to have to do is go with...
I think it's going to Epic.
I think it's going to Epic Movie as well.
Yeah.
I think so. So that one's going to move forward.
All right.
Great. Awesome. Next on the list, we have Team America, World Police, and Not Another Teen Movie.
I haven't seen Team America since I was a kid.
So
that one came out when we were kids, right?
I'm pretty sure at least high school. I don't know. Should we pull them up? Because that's the whole thing about this.
So you pull one up, I'll pull the other one. What's the other one?
Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh, okay.
What are you pulling up?
I'll pull up Not Another Teen Movie.
Okay. So yeah, both of these movies definitely fit into this category. It's gonna be kind of tricky, honestly. Team America is one of those movies that it's by the guys who made South Park, right? So Trey Parker and Matt Stone. It came out in 2004. So middle school.
We were kids.
Yeah, we were kids. Definitely not a movie for kids.
No.
Even though it is a movie with marionettes. It's definitely making fun of things like, what is it, the Thunderbirds? Thunderbirds Are Go, like that whole show. It's got a 77 on Rotten Tomatoes with a 7.2 on IMDb, so it is liked. But this is about the ruler of North Korea, Kim Jong-il, who's orchestrating a global terrorist plot, and it's up to Team America to stop his schemes. The group, which includes the thespian averse technology expert Chris, not only has to face off against Kim Jong-il, but they also have to contend with the Film Actors Guild. Yeah, I don't know. This movie's about puppets, marionettes, who are the world police based out of America, and they're going after Kim Jong-il, who also brings on the Film Actors Guild, which is it's in the movie it's an acronym that's really bad nowadays because comedy changes, humor changes, right? But I quote this movie from time to time, and then every 4th of July I play America Fuck Yeah, which is a song from this movie.
Yeah.
Because it's also got songs in it. It's a musical.
Yeah.
With the South Park guys, most things they do have songs in them.
One of the most vivid memories in my brain about this movie is the guy who's like crying in the rain, drunk, and he's throwing up.
Just viciously.
Vicious vomit coming out, and there's like someone on the street is like, "Are you done?" or something like that. Like,
I always just do the Matt Damon. But it's such a fun movie. It's bad on purpose. Like there's parts where like the fight scenes, they're just moving the puppets together.
Yeah.
There's a gratuitous sex scene with the marionettes as well, which is very weird to watch because again they're just like seriously swinging the marionettes together for all these things. But the fact that the guys who made South Park came up with this is just awesome. You know what I mean? But let's talk about the other one.
The other movie is Not Another Teen Movie.
Solid.
Came out in 2001.
2001.
And
wow.
The IMDb and Rotten Tomato scores are not as good as you think.
No?
No, it's 5.8 out of 10.
Okay.
and 32%.
That's just
on Rotten
insane to me because this movie is so good.
So this movie has a pretty all-star cast.
No, it really does. Yeah.
For the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris Evans.
Who?
Chris Evans.
Who's that?
Captain America.
Say it one more time
Captain
without
America?
without the accent. Try a different accent.
Chris Evans.
Try a different accent.
Captain America.
There's your American accent.
I can't do accents. Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Shyler Lee. She was Janie.
Mm-hmm.
Mia Krishner. Lacey Chabert.
Chabert.
Mm-hmm. Sam Huntington.
Okay.
Eric Jungman.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the bigger actors on that movie. So this movie basically is about Jake Weiler, Chris Evans, an all-American football star who makes a foolish bet to turn Janie into a prom queen. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this movie just like destroys every teen movie ever, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Going all the way back to the 80s with like the Brat Pack and like Molly Ringwald, who also appears in the movie, by the way. Molly Ringwald. But this movie just does the comedy so much differently than like Epic Movie or Date Movie, which is another one on our list, right?
Yeah.
Like where if you didn't really know it was a spoof movie, you would probably just assume it was another teen comedy that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's definitely takes a lot of inspiration from movies like She's All That and from like 10 Things I Hate About You, things like that, right? So it takes all of those tropes, those cliches from all those movies, like just dials them up to 12.
So here's the thing about this movie, and here's my question.
Okay.
Did this movie start at all?
No.
No?
Nope.
You don't think so?
No. We'll get into it later on.
I mean, like, I know it didn't start at all of it. But what I really mean is, did it start, like, the trend around that time?
I don't know if it started it.
I don't think it was trending.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they were making spoof movies all the time.
Right, because there's, like,
even back
Airplane
in the
and
70s.
Naked Gun and all that. But I think Scary Movie is what really set the bar.
Did that come out before this?
Well, we'll have to pull it up when we get to it.
Okay, so
you know, but I think this one was just so different and so like insane.
Yeah.
There are parts of this movie that are unbelievable. You know what I mean? And by that I mean they would not happen in real life. But there's so much stuff. There's so many things in it that are so grounded that they could work as not a spoof movie. You know. Now I'm just waiting for them to make not another spoof movie. Just because this one did so well.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I love this movie. I watched it recently, which is what really started this debate and this talk about these movies, these types of movies. Out of these two, man, I'm gonna go with Not Another Teen Movie because it is a good movie overall. Like, once you just like let it go and watch Chris Evans be Chris Evans, like, what else did he do after this? It was like he was Jake Weiler and then Captain America. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
he was the Human Torch.
Well, you know what I mean, though, right? But also, if you want to see Captain America dressed as a banana split, go
check it out.
Go check it out if you haven't seen the movie. But my vote's for Not Another Teen Movie.
And mine as well.
It's moving on.
Not Another Teen Movie.
So next on the list, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
These are some big ones. Man.
Yeah.
So we got Austin Powers and Blazing Saddles.
Oh.
This is a tough one.
Oh. What?
So both of these movies are movies that I genuinely love. I don't think I can say anything negative about either one of them.
What are you pulling up?
I was gonna go ahead and pull up Blazing Saddles.
All right.
Again, this is a random list generated, so we have everything pulled up, but we still have to pull it up based on the list.
Yeah.
So Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks specializes in parody movies, right?
This movie really pushed a lot of boundaries.
Oh, it does. Yeah. And it came out in 1974.
Yeah.
It's got a 7.7 on IMDb with an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. So this is a satire movie, parody movie, if you will, about Westerns. So crafty railroad worker Bart becomes the first black sheriff of Rock Ridge, a frontier town about to be destroyed in order to make way for a new railroad. Initially, the people of Rock Ridge harbor a racial bias towards their new leader. However, they warm to him after realizing that Bart and his perpetually drunk gunfighter friend are the only defense against a wave of thugs sent to rid the town of its population. So this has Gene Wilder in it as one of what I think is one of his funniest roles.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times that I'll do this with my hand, just shaking violently. I'm like, yeah, but this is the hand I shoot with, because I don't know, the whole movie is not only a spoof on Western movies, but on Hollywood and how often people get displaced from their homes for new highways and things like that,
Yeah, right.
But it's also just a huge spoof on Hollywood. And when they break the fourth wall, literally, and you see the film crew in the studio and everything like that, during this whole thing, during the end fight, it's something special, especially from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
This movie did break a lot of barriers when it came to race and how it was portrayed in movies, especially because of the Western nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just the two stars of the movie really shine, and they have really great chemistry together. So,
yeah.
Again, this is one of those movies where it's really silly, it's really funny, but at the end of the day, it is a solid movie start to finish.
Yeah. I really do love this movie, but I do love myself some Austin Powers.
All three of them are great movies.
First movie, The International Man of Mystery, came out in 1999.
Jeez. That's so long
Oh,
ago.
actually, no, I'm wrong.
Uh-huh.
I'm wrong.
Okay.
1997.
Even earlier. God bless
And then
America.
The Spy Who Shagged Me came out in 1999.
And then Goldmember was what, 03?
Goldmember came out in 2002.
Ooh, I was close.
Yeah.
That was the only one I saw in theaters.
But this stars Mike Myers, obviously.
And Mike Myers. And Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
And Mike Myers.
Vern Troyer.
Oh, yeah, Vern Troyer. Yeah. And Mike Myers.
And Mike Myers and Seth Green. Don't forget about Seth
Green.
Soth Green. I love this movie.
All three of them. Because we are kind of roping them all together.
Yeah.
There's not a single one of these movies that I don't like.
Yeah.
Granted, there's only three.
If it's on, let's say I'm at a hotel and they got cable.
And it's on
and
cable?
it's on. I'm watching it. I'm
watching.
watching it. Yep. Hey.
Volume up.
Volume up. All the way.
Maybe not all the way. You want people to know you're watching it. So you have something to talk about in the elevator.
Yeah.
And then you see your neighbor and you heard them blasting porn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like,
ooh.
Same vibes?
Yeah.
The music sounds the same.
But the thing about Austin Powers is that it's one cohesive story, I feel like.
They really pieced it together throughout the three of them. Mm-hmm. There's some parts where it's that didn't make sense in the first movie, but now I feel like it makes total sense.
Yeah.
But also, I think that's kind of the joke, right?
Yeah.
How many James Bond movies are there? 70?
Yeah.
Is there a cohesive story there? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No one can keep track. There's too many.
And that's what it's parroting is James Bond, but he's British.
Yeah.
Which James Bond was British.
Pretty sure.
Right?
This is very British, though.
Yeah. This is like
very British.
British freaking, I don't know.
Stereotypes.
Symbol.
Stereotypes.
Icon. Stereotype.
Yeah. Every one of these movies has like really awesome moments, and it's got similar jokes in each one that just get bigger and bigger as the movies go on.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Myers plays Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, Fat Bastard, a million other people, which is a thing that he's done in a lot of his movies. Like So I Married an Axe Murderer, he plays himself, or he plays
Shot It.
the character and the dad and things like that.
Yeah.
This was a huge thing for movie stars, the comedy stars in like the 80s and 90s. Like Eddie Murphy did it.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Myers did it. Another guy probably did it. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head right now.
But the two big ones, Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers.
They did this a lot in their movies, and I think
Dana Carvey.
I mean, the only Dana Carvey movie besides Wayne's World that I can think of is Master of Disguise, and that movie is just a spoof of itself, I think. I love that movie, but it sucks. You know what I mean?
Did you hear the theory of the Master Disguise?
No.
It's not a theory, but
should we do it like they do on that one TikTok?
Which one?
Where they're like, "Did you hear the theory about the thing from the movies and the stuff?"
No, what is it?
What? You're the one telling me the theory.
Oh shit! Oops.
Oops. Did you hear the theory?
I heard this on TikTok as well, actually.
Yeah.
Did you hear the theory about the Master in Disguise?
No, what? Clip this for TikTok. This is just TikTok bait.
It's not really a theory, actually.
Uh-huh.
But apparently the whole
apparently
9/11 thing happened while they were filming Master in Disguise. And he was in the turtle suit.
Oh, I've heard this, yeah.
When that happened, and like they went off and like watched it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god," you know, and they turn around and Dana Carvey's in this turtle suit.
Am I not turtly enough for the turtle?
They have to go back and keep filming
a comedy slapstick movie for children.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a theory, but it's just
I heard the theory though.
Something that supposedly happened. Did you hear it though?
I heard I did hear about this.
Now let's theorize on the winner of this.
Okay.
Because we're only on the second round.
The second round.
Right? We're only on the second.
Yeah.
Thing. You know what I mean?
The second thing.
I don't even know.
I don't know either, man.
I'm voting Austin Powers.
You're voting Austin Powers?
I love Austin Powers. I will always watch Austin Powers.
Mm-hmm.
Blazing Saddles is a movie of its time.
It is a movie of its time. Sorry, I was doing technical stuff. But, dude, I think, like, if I was going to get my kid to watch, like, movies from my childhood, I wouldn't start with Blazing Saddles.
No.
I wouldn't start with Austin Powers either. But I watched Austin Powers way too young. I know I did.
Oh, yeah, me too.
There's a lot in both movies that are pretty hard to explain to a kid. But for pure, like, enjoyment and laughing out loud and slapstick humor and things like that, it's Austin Powers for me.
I'm going Austin
Blazing
Powers.
Saddles is a great movie. It does so much for the genre.
It has a lot of humor that makes you think, though.
Yeah.
And it's not as easy to enjoy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going Austin Powers.
I think Austin Powers wins this one. And it's moving on. Let's get down.
I think we need to pick up the pace a little bit.
I think so
here.
too. Or this is going to become a part tour, a two-parter.
A part tour?
Two-parter.
A hawk tour?
A hawk tour. So let's get into this next one. This was a pretty solid round, to be honest with you. It's Spaceballs and Scary Movie. This is a tough one. This might be the deciding factor for the rest of the bracket, to be fair.
About to gouge my eyes out.
We might have to. But Scary Movie, we're really just talking about like 1, 2, and some of 3. When it comes to scary movies, because they really went downhill.
5 were like, whatever.
Really went downhill.
Yeah.
Spaceballs, though, I just watched it a couple nights ago. That movie is so good.
I watched that one a couple times a year.
It's so good. It really does justice to its source material of like Star Wars and Star Trek and things like that. The story behind its making is really fun to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
There's rumors of a sequel coming out, and they better do it.
And Mel Brooks is still alive.
And Mel Brooks is still alive.
And he's gonna direct it.
And he better be Master Yogurt,
what the heck?
Or have a baby Go-Gurt. Instead of Grogu, it's Go-Gurt.
Go-Gurt.
Yeah. But also that's my idea, Mel Brooks. If you're listening, he's not listening. He
might.
Grogurt.
He might. You never know.
Grogurt.
Go-Gurt.
Grogurt.
Danimals.
But Scary Movie, man, those first 2 are so good, and they're so iconic. Like, was it Anna Faris in both of them, right?
Yeah.
Solid. Like, she's in most. She's in like the
of
first 3, I think, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I can't remember 4 and 5 whatsoever. But she was like built for this role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she was in all of them.
I don't know if I want to go back and look. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull up Scary Movie.
What year did it come out?
I'm pulling it up.
I'm going to say 2002.
2002?
2003.
Let me see here. It came out in 2000.
2000.
So like I said, I think this one really started the craze of spoof movies in the 2000s. You know what I mean?
Was that?
So yeah, this movie, Scary Movie, 2000, has a 51% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.3 on IMDb. Defying the very notion of good taste, Scary Movie out-parodies the pop culture parodies with a no-holds-barred assault on the most popular images and talked about moments from recent films.
Mm-hmm.
The film boldly fires barbs at classic scenes from Scream, The Sixth Sense, The Matrix, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and The Blair Witch Project, and just goes on to mock a whole myriad of teen movie cliches, no matter what the genre is. Scary Movie. The Wayans are really what started the Scary Movie trend, right? They wrote it. I'm pretty sure they wrote it, right? They're both in it. I know that much.
Mm-hmm.
Keenan Wayans directed it. But I'm pretty sure like they left Scary Movie and like making all those movies pretty early on, which is why they really went downhill afterwards. But yeah, Marlon and Sean Wayans are both in it. Anna Faris, Regina Hall. Dude, there's something about Scary Movie that it's so raunchy and it's so like, I watched it way too young. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Scary Movie before I watched Scream.
Really?
Yeah. Because my parents wouldn't let me watch Scream.
I think it's the same for me.
So I didn't know that Ghostface was from Scream and not Scary Movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think my love of Scary Movie and Scream like stem from the same place, and it's because of Scary Movie. You know what I mean? Like watching that movie when you're way too young to watch it is something crazy.
Yeah.
But then we have Spaceballs on the other side.
Came out in 1987.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right.
52% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.1 on IMDb, which pretty close to Scary Movie, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, in a distant galaxy, planet Spaceball has depleted its air supply, leaving its citizen reliant on a product called Perrier, which is a joke of Perrier, the water.
The water.
Right? In desperation, Spaceball's leader, President Scroob, played by Mel Brooks, orders the evil Dark Helmet, played by Rick Moranis, freaking great, to kidnap Princess Vespa of the oxygen-rich Druidia and hold her hostage in exchange for the air. But help arrives for the princess in the form of renegade space pilot Lone Star, played by Bill Pullman.
Lone Star.
And his half-man, half-dog, he's a Mog, Barf.
Barf.
played by John Candy. I don't know. Everything about Spaceballs just works. It is a goofy sci-fi movie. And it does the whole like it pulls the rug out of all the like you need to train like the training montages of Star Wars and
yeah.
I can't think of what the phrase is called. But it's like at the end of the movie when they find out he's a prince just to win the day, you know, so he can also marry the princess. Like
Yeah.
Deus Ex Machina, that's what it is. And Mel Brooks as yogurt, so good, right? Like
Yeah.
the Jawas
Using the Schwartz.
the Schwartz. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine, but how well can you handle it? Spaceballs.
It's all limp.
Spaceballs is so good. And the rumors of the sequel, I really hope that comes true. Out of these two, though, it's really tough.
It's tough.
I think I'm gonna go with Scary Movie
Mm.
because there's two that are really good. First one and the second one are really good. The House on Haunted Hill joke and everything from the second one is really solid. I don't know. Scary Movie really fell off, but there's only one Spaceball, and it's difficult. It's difficult, man. But I'm gonna go Scary Movie just for the sake of it is a like number one spoof movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when I think of spoof movies, Scary Movie is like number 2 on my list of spoof movies.
Well, I wanted to go Spaceballs,
Mm-hmm.
but for the sake of time,
For the
and the sake of, I don't really have an argument. You know what I mean?
I think I did pretty good standing up for Scary Movie.
Yeah, I mean, Scary Movie is iconic, is classic,
Mhm.
but Spaceballs, I have to agree with you with the fact that when I think of spoof movies, I'm gonna think of Scary Movie first.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to agree with you.
Good.
But I do love Spaceballs.
No, Spaceballs is so good, and it's like a classic movie at this point.
Yeah.
But we would not be making this list without Scary Movie being a thing.
Right.
Right.
So what's next? Where are we at on time? by the way?
We're like 35 minutes in or so. We're
Okay.
40 minutes in. So what I would suggest
Mhm.
is maybe we come back for a part 2 for this one to get down to the final movies.
Yeah.
All
right.
So where we're left now, we're just gonna go over round 2. Like I said, we didn't even do all the movies on the list.
Yeah.
There's some movies just got to pass into round 2 already. So
Mhm.
this round's gonna be way bigger than the first round,
Yeah.
and we're 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
So let's go through round 2 to keep you guys on the edge of your seats, and we'll pick it back up in a part 2. So here we go. Round 2. Random movies coming together. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So for the first game is what we're calling it of round 2, we have Basketball, which got a free pass. Basketball and Epic Movie.
Ugh.
Yeah. Then we have Robin Hood Men in Tights
Oh.
and Date Movie. Tropic Thunder and Not Another Teen Movie. Shaun of the Dead versus Hot Fuzz. Fuck.
Yeah.
I hate this game. Airplane versus Austin Powers. Kung Pao Enter the Fist versus Hot Shots. That's going to be a tricky one. Superhero Movie versus Scary Movie.
Wow.
And Mars Attacks versus Galaxy Quest.
Wow.
You guys better come back for round 2 because it sounds like it's going to get heated. There's some pretty tough decisions that got to be made.
For sure.
If you guys want to make any predictions, put them down in the comments below. Send us messages on TikTok, whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But let us know, out of the next part of the list, who's going to win? Who's going to come out on top? What movie's going to come out on top? You tell us down below.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
And let us know.
If
Please,
you're
because it's 100 degrees.
if you're listening on any of the podcast apps, you can hit the button that says send us a message and text us what you think's going to win or what your pick would be, or if we made a fatal error in our first round picks.
Hmm.
But But also, if you're not on a podcasting app and you're on YouTube at
BG in the Morning Podcast,
you could be watching this episode and commenting down below all the things that we just said. You should send us a text message.
liking, subscribing,
All of that stuff.
hitting that belly.
And for little clips and stupid sketches,
Yeah.
you can find us over on like Instagram or TikTok at
BJ in the Morning _
And I think that's about it. Did we miss anything?
Nope. I think that's it.
So yeah, join us next week for part 2 of the spoof movie bracket board game. We should come up with a name for this kind of thing. For bracket,
Just
movie bracket board game thing.
Thing.
It's the stuff.
But with that said, thank you for listening to BJ in the Morning. I'm Juan.
And I'm Brendan.
And
we
will
talk to you
next
time.